Palermo is the newest project, a mixtape to be exact, by the rapper Conway the Machine. 1-2 is also credited on this project. He is the producer on all the tracks. I like Conway the Machine. I think he's a pretty good artist. I've hardly talked about him on this channel. I know I haven't reviewed any of his stuff. He may have been featured on some songs from other projects that I talked about, but solid artist, in my opinion. Not my favorite of the Griselda rappers under that label. I think there is definitely some merit to him being one of the more notable names to come from that record label, due to not only the popularity and influence of his music, but the subject matter as well, how dark and serious some of his stuff can be, as well as a pretty distinct voice and timbre to his delivery. With this project, it's basically nothing that new for Conway in terms of the topics presented here. A lot of them do relate to drugs, drug dealing, manufacturing, crime, life on the streets. It's all kind of stuff we're familiar with from him. I like that he is teaming up with a producer for this mixtape, and it's basically just a 1-2 punch that we're getting throughout this thing from him and 1-2 respectively. I think that kind of formula has worked for Conway in the past with other releases, and here I would say overall it does work. I think that this was an okay mixtape, but not without its flaws, and I'll get to those, but I'll just talk through some of the tracks here. We start with simply a track called Interlude, which has this sort of news report being read out of what sounds like a flight where there's some people that are carrying drugs onto the plane, and authorities are trying to get a hold of these people. It's kind of an interesting, somewhat intense way to start off things. This leads into the track Carduni, where we get already a semblance of the lo-fi stripped-back production that went to Helms here. Lots of distortion, kind of blurry, fuzzy sounds amongst the keys and the drums, which is pretty cool. Overall, I'm pretty down with all the different instrumental palettes explored in this project. It's a not bad song. I do think it gets off to a really good start. I like the first verse that Conway delivers, but I do wish he would have kept up this momentum, because around the halfway point, he's basically just kind of ad-libbing the rest of the song, or freestyling, however you want to put it, kind of relying on this chorus to just carry the rest of the track, and just wish there was more lyrics that we could have gotten. I do think Mind Tricks is a better track, though, one of the more standout tracks for me, with a feature from Kendricks on this one. Again, some solid production here, some creepy, almost horror-ish sounds explored here. The opening line really kind of sums up how this track sounds. Really tight rhythm here with the kick and snare, and just a cool echoey sound overall to the instrumental. And I'm also digging the lyrics here, talking on kind of the topic of paranoia, feeling paranoid from the effects of drugs, or just living in this drug crime kind of lifestyle. Really effective track, honestly. Even with it being under 2 minutes, I think it kind of gets the job done very well. Brick by Brick is an alright song. Conway seems to kind of just be flexing his body of work here, making references to other releases of his, such as God Don't Make Mistakes and Won't He Do It. Although I gotta say, just the title of the song made me think of this.
Brick by brick, stock by tick, no matter how thin, no matter how thick.
So I was distracted when I was listening to it. Cold Dish is also just an okay track in my opinion. It's the first appearance where we get Goose, by the way. First of several appearances we'll hear later on. Kind of also talking more on this lifestyle, dealing with people in the drug world. This is a classic Griselda beat, lacking in the percussive realm and very strong in woodwinds and orchestral instruments being used. I like the next track, Cosca, quite a bit. This was a single I remember leading up to this thing, and just honestly digging the sound of it a lot with this bass and jingly guitar combination. Definitely one of my favorite beats in the whole tape. Next track is called Sissa. It's labeled as a skit, and it's another one where we get this news report covering these findings relating to drugs and crimes been done. Kind of a sequel in a way to Interlude. Montagna is where we get another appearance from Goose, by the way, and I like what the song talks about kind of getting into the music industry yourself and doing things on your own terms, not relying on other people to help you out, and building your foundation and legacy from just your own hard work. I think it's a good message, really. And I'm liking more just of these lo-fi, distorted sounds that 1-2 brings here. This song in particular kind of sounds Mac DeMarco influenced as well, which is something I never thought I would say, like an indie rock artist influencing a album by a Griselda artist. That's kind of weird, but it's cool, it works. However, Bianca is the following track, and this is easily one of the weaker tracks on here. The production in particular, I feel like it's just very messy and jumbled. Pretty poor mixing, in my opinion. Definitely a big miss for me. Thankfully, though, we do close things out pretty nicely with Gaspare. Gaspare, I hope that's how you say it. This one also has these dual guitar parts, kind of sound blurry in the mix. Sound cool, though. Overall, this sort of feels like a backing track to an old Western movie or old folk tale kind of film. I don't know, kind of gave me those vibes personally. Really enjoy Goose by the Way's feature on here too. Probably his best contribution to this mixtape in my opinion. This track in particular, his verse kind of goes over phonies in the music industry and, you know, just repping the fact that this is his work and this is his efforts that have gone into what he does and what he's created, and calling out people that just kind of take shortcuts to get there. He delivers the chorus as well, and I think it's a very catchy chorus too. So that is Palermo. Overall, like I said, a pretty decent mixtape in my opinion. I do wish there was a little more fleshing out of these subjects that are presented, but I understand with it being a mixtape, it's not really lyric focused, more on the performance and the production. Those are things that are supposed to be more of the stars of the show in this case. And the beats overall, I would say, were quite good. I guess I just wish it was a little bit longer too. It's about 22 minutes and would have liked it to have been longer. I felt like it was kind of starting to hit a nice stride as well in the second half particularly. But overall, this was fine. I would say I enjoyed myself. Overall, Palermo would get a 6.5 out of 10. What do you think? If you have heard this by chance, let me know. Any favorite tracks from it, of course. Probably one of the last albums I'm going to listen to this year, like last new albums for this year, as we're, you know, coming up on the new year. It's pretty close. So look forward to that. As I said in my last video, end of the year videos will be on the horizon. Don't know when they will come out. Don't even know when I'm going to film them, to be honest, right now. But somewhat in the near future, you can expect them. So look forward to that. And just thank you all for watching this video. See you later. Peace out.